Hey everybody, I'm back. Today, we're gonna do some drywall repair. Ta-da! Okay, this is a large hole drywall repair, so it's for fixing large holes in your drywall. So what I'm gonna do first is, if you can see here, you've got this piece here. You can see that a lot of the gyprock inside of it, that's all been kind of torn away. So I'm gonna cut that out, just so I got something solid. This isn't too bad. And then I will show you the next step on how to do this. All right? Okay, well, other than the dog, here's your tool list, okay? We've got a tub for your drywall putty, large knife, plastic, that one's okay, it's not great, but whatever. Smaller knife, you've got some square sanding blocks. They're just sponge specifically for this. Drywall screws, mud, drywall cutter, you can use a knife, and drill. And that's for your drywall screws. That's pretty much all you need. And yeah, we'll get on it. Okay, so now what I've done is I've cut out that little piece and gotten it ready. And yeah, hi Sugar. This is Sugar. She's my assistant. Okay, so what you need back there is something solid for the drywall to attach to. Now, I have seen this done where you can cut out another piece of drywall, slide it back here, screw it in, and put it in. And I've seen that done. I don't like that. I've just found that it's not strong enough. So what I've got is some 2x4, just old scrap 2x4. Came from outside actually, that I'm going to actually put behind here to offer the support that the new drywall will need. Okay, so I'll show you that when it's done. Okay, so they're in. Okay, that's going to be what I will now be tying the new drywall to before we start to tape and mud. Okay, it's something nice and strong. Okay, and I will show you. Notice here. Okay, you want to put a little, you just want these to go in a little bit somewhere basically, so that when you put the mud down, it will have somewhere to go. Okay, to cover up the screw, you can see these screws, let's see, bring it in their focus here. Okay, these screws are kind of tapered there a little bit. You see how that kind of makes a little cone, and that's to kind of suck the drywall down and to make it really strong. But it's really easy for one of these screws to go right through the drywall. Okay, so you gotta be careful. Okay, everybody, there it is. It's in. Okay, I did assume that you would know that you're gonna need some scrap drywall to actually build a patch. Okay, so there it is. Now we're gonna fill in all the gaps. We're gonna fill in the screw holes, and we're gonna use some drywall tape just to give it some more strength in these areas. You don't have to. I'm going to. I have some, so I'm going to use it. Why not? It'll just add a little bit more strength so it won't crack. Not that I think it'll crack anyways. And so then I'll show you that, and we'll get on to it. So we're going to start with our mud, and small spatula will be your first one. Okay, everybody, here we go. I'm using my relatively small spatula, okay? And we're just going to fill everything, okay? So you apply in one direction, scrape off in the other. Apply in one direction, scrape off in the other. Okay, and we're not too worried about how it looks right now. We'll get more worried about that in the later coats. Okay? But for now, we're just trying to fill all this up. Okay? We can use quite a bit of mud. We're just gonna squish it in there, scrape it off. Okay? Again, don't worry about how it looks. Okay, so we're going to put some tape on here. To put the tape on, we just got to add quite a bit of drywall compound so the tape will stick, right? So we're going to cover up all these large seams with quite a bit of putty. Okay, and then we're going to put them on. Okay. I'm going to put them on. There's a seam, bendable seam. We're going to put the seam on the inside. Put that there. This one goes here. Oh no, this one goes here. See if I can remember where it all goes. Okay, so maybe a little bit of putty there. sticks. Okay. And then the last one over there. Our last one right here. Okay. Okay, and then once you got it on there, take your knife and just run it up. Just taking off a little bit of excess. And then we'll do this one.
It's not a knife.
Spatula. And this one. Okay? And again, don't worry about how it's looking too much. We're going to get all that fixed, okay? So that's your first coat of mud. That's it. We're going to let that dry, okay? And then we'll come back. That's it. Everybody, we're ready for our second coat, all right? So here it is, it's dry. So I'm going to show you a little trick here. Again, we're still not concerned about how this looks yet. We're not there at a point to concern ourselves with that. So for anything that's really big like this, has got a good ridge to it. Okay, instead of sanding to get rid of that, because we do want to get rid of some of these big ridges, just simply take your knife. Don't put a lot of pressure. Just very gently scrape it off. Okay, knife works really well getting rid of some of these big edges. Okay. Okay. As we can. Okay. It's good and solid. Okay. Just don't want to. We don't want to hit that tape. We don't want to clip it. Right? Actually, clipped it there. That's good. Okay. Because it'll come up. Okay, remember our objective here is to make this patch flow smoothly into the wall so you can't even see it. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be the second coat. Okay, which we're going to spread out. We're going to make it even wider all the way around. Okay, and we're going to try and blend it more into the wall. Okay, so I'll try and do it as much as I can on camera, but I've lost my cameraman, which is my youngest daughter, so pretty hard for me to do that and hold the camera at the same time, but I'll do my best. Okay. In an attempt holding the camera and doing this, I'll only do a little bit before we'll move on to the next step. But and remember, this is just for patchwork. If you're doing a whole room, I highly recommend you hire a professional. Drywalling really is an art. And the professionals, man, they can whip off a room in no time. They're worth the money to get a professional in here to do a whole room. Okay, we're just doing a patch, so it's a little different. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to take a little mud. It's so hard to do with just one hand. Okay, and I'm going to do the top here. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of mud on my knife, but okay, so I'm just going to go up here. And I'm going to spread that out. Up. Right now we don't care about how it looks much. See how we're feathering that out a little bit? Okay, so that's the basic premise of how to do this. And now I'm going to do the rest because it's really hard to do with holding the camera. There we go. Finished all that. That's the second coat. You can see how far we went out. Okay. To blend it into the wall. Remember, that's our objective here. We're blending the patch into the wall. Okay, you can see how far out we came. The patch probably went about here. Okay, don't worry about all the divots and everything. When we do our third coat, that's when a lot of this will start to disappear. And then once we do our sanding and everything, it's gonna look really good when it's done. Okay, so that's it. Tomorrow we will do the third coat and hopefully sand tomorrow. Paint, prime and paint, I should say, and look like it was never there. Okay, bye everybody. Second coat is dry. So now what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see very well with this camera, but yeah, okay, there you go. And there's a deep ridge here, and we've got a little bit of an indent here. Things like that will just scrape off, a little, that will sand out. This will scrape off. So really what I'm really concerned about is here and this one here. That'd take a lot of sanding to get those out. So we're just going to add a little bit of mud to those, kind of smoothen them out. Okay, let that dry, and then we'll be ready for sanding, and then paint it. Okay, so yeah, I'll show you how that turns out. I think I can do some of this here with the spatula. So I got my knife. We've got this ridge here, so I'm just gonna scrape that. See how this comes right off? I'm not using a lot of pressure. Just kind of a nice even pressure. It needs to be scrape that off. Kind of go through it here. Get rid of anything high. Okay, this takes the big stuff off. Okay, so now I'm gonna just kind of level that out right here. You can feel a good big ridge here, and a little bit there. So it won't take a lot of mud, just a little bit of mud. Let that dry, and then we'll sand it. So one last thing, when you're done all your mudding and everything, most likely you're gonna have mud left over. Okay, it'll keep for a very long time. I think this bucket here is a couple years old, actually, from another project that I did. I think it was my kitchen. Anyways, so to keep it good and moist, right? Keep it basically mud. Just add a little bit of water. Doesn't have to be a lot, like a teaspoon, tablespoon. Throw that in there. Throw the lid on. This will keep for years. Okay. Actually, I have 2 buckets like this, and they're both completely fine. So yeah, there you go. There's the patch. Sanded it. The one thing about sanding, it's not about what you see. It's about what you feel. Okay, you don't want to feel any ridges. You don't want to feel it. It's got to be just a smooth transition from the patch right to the wall. Okay, you can't feel anything. Okay, and when you sand, very lightly sand. Okay, don't give it a lot of pressure. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to paint it here, and it should look great. So there you go, everybody. There's the patch. Might still need another coat of paint. That paint's still drying, I think. But yeah, there you go. Much better than what it was. Hats off to drywallers, mudders, and tapers, because those guys are artists. It really is probably the hardest thing that I do around the house. That's hard. You got to be really meticulous with that one. But there you go. That's it. It's all done.